Oh, well, continuing my green woodwork series, I just wanted to say about wood shrinkage. Now, you won't find many woodworkers that will say wood shrinkage can be useful. I think most people would say actually it's ruined the project. I've just done a lovely table and it's now shrunk and I've got a crack in the middle of it and all that sort of thing. Well, with green woodwork, that's where you work the wood directly from the tree. It can be really useful and you can use nature to its advantage. I'll bring you in close. I have a little experimental Dutch doll leg here that I've made, and I'll explain how I've used the wood shrinkage on this. Well, here I have a little prototype leg that I did for the Dutch dolls. Just to recap, these are the sorts of things, the old craft folk dolls, the Grodnatoll dolls, what I'm trying to recreate one. And just in my sort of research, I thought, well, I'll try making a leg and just see how the jointing mechanism works. Well, I used wood here which I got immediately off of a log. So the tree had been felled and then I cut the log into sections. In fact, you can see me do it in an earlier video. And then I planed it all around with a draw knife to get a sort of like a leg shape. Anyway, to get the joint itself, I've got a little joint here. I suppose it's a bit like a mortise and tenon. And I've put a wooden peg through. Now, this wooden peg was dry wood, really hard dry wood. The leg itself I was making out of very wet wood. And what's happened is, as this wet wood dries, it's gripping that peg. It's shrinking around it and it's making it a really tight peg. So I don't need any glue in there at all. The shrinkage alone will hold it. And that's how a lot of the old Windsor chairs were made. The people making them, the bodgers, would actually use wood shrinkage to your advantage. So you would have, say, a chair post which was wet, you'd bore a hole in it and put a cross stretcher in, and the post would shrink around that stretcher. In fact, if you see us making the chair in the day video, you'll see us doing just that. We're actually drying chair stretchers in hot sand so we get some of the moisture out before we put it into the wet legs, so then the legs shrink around. So that's what I'm doing with my little Dutch dolls that I'm making. The wood is still a little bit wet, not so much now. I'm going to drive in little wooden pegs, and what I'll do, because they have already dried a bit more than probably I'd choose now, I'm going to just bash them with a hammer each end to slightly burn them over each end, and then they won't fall out under any sort of context. So the wood shrinkage alone will probably hold them. It's perfectly feasible to make a chair without using any wood glue at all, by just using this wood shrinkage. It's amazingly strong. So to do, for example, a knee joint here, I'm just going to place my bits of wood in position. One needs to allow enough sort of for flexing of the foot. So you don't want it bang up completely tight, but you want it pretty close in. And then all I'm going to do is drill a hole down. That I'm taking, actually, it's a bamboo skewer type thing. Gonna tap it through. It's quite hard to get through. Just test that joint, but there's enough movement each way. I think there is just about. Yeah, that's okay. So I'm going to cut this a bit proud. Tap it down. I'm leaving just like a millimetre, 1/16 of an inch, very roughly exposed there, just a little bit on the surface. Going to trim it with some pliers, mind your eyes, So again, there's just a little nib of wood sticking out, and then I will just tap it down with a hammer to burr it. I would be doing this on the anvil normally, but it's easier to show you on camera. So I've just burred those each side, and that gives me a nice little leg joint. Now what will happen over time, this wood will shrink a little bit more. It will slightly loosen up my joint, the actual knee joint, and this pin will be shrunk into position even more. The fact that it's burred each end is not going to fall out, but the added shrinkage will be working very much to my advantage and keeping this all nice and secure. For quite a while I wondered how they did the noses, because the noses on these dolls actually stick out a bit. I'll show you a picture. They're little like stubby noses, but what they actually do is they sink a bit of wood in, like a bit of matchstick, and then they carve it to shape. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to drill a little series of holes where the nose goes, and then I'll glue a bit of wood in and then shape it once it's in. I've made these so they actually go in quite deeply so they'll be secure when they're glued. So that's just cut crudely to fit the hole. So that will glue in like that. It's far too big at the moment, but I can just trim it down a bit. There, I've just touched up that nose with the knife a bit while the glue was still wet, just in case I made a total hash of it. But that's fine, I can let that dry now and just give it a little final clean over once it's done. As you see fairly quickly, I have quite a nicely jointed little doll. Well, I've got my little family beside me here, coming along quite well. Anyway, next step will be painting, and there's a very particular way of painting the Grodnatoll dolls, Dutch dolls, which I'll be doing in the next video. So thanks so much for watching this one. Do bear in mind, with the green woodwork, shrinkage is good. Okay then, bye bye.